Cristy Kisner is the author of the gluten-free, dairy-free, and processed food-free cookbook, Cristy's Kitchen. Now, she is also the owner of the gluten-free, dairy-free, and organic bakery cafe, Cristy's Kitchen in Roswell, Georgia. Now, she was not a natural-born cook, but when one of her 5 daughters developed an autoimmune disease and another began exhibiting signs of gluten intolerance, she knew that she needed to learn. Well, Cristy began developing recipes in her native Peru, and her friends and neighbors with dietary concerns began coming to her house for baking lessons. And then she had one rule: even if these families had the means to send their cooks and maids to her classes, she would encourage the parents themselves to come because baking is showing love. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the owner of Cristy's Kitchen and the author of an inspirational and one of the healthiest of cookbooks, Cristy Kisner, to the show. Welcome, Cristy.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Oh, it's nice to have you as well. I am so interested because your cookbook is actually more than a cookbook, but your journey as a mother to improve the health of your family through food. So tell us a bit about that journey.
Well, it started really with the pregnancy because when I realized that I was pregnant, I say, okay, my new job is to be a mom, so I have to do it right. So I started making all my research around the breastfeeding, and that's what my first obsession. So I joined the La Liga League, that is an international community of amazing women, to learn about how to feed my baby. Then I start with all the first baby foods. It was a long journey because I started with small steps with the breastfeeding, with baby food, then with when my first daughter started going to the preschool, I say, okay, I don't want to send her all these boxes and bags, so I start reading and make my research about the products because I realized, okay, the box is beautiful, but what about the ingredients? And I start to read the list of ingredients, and I say, no, I don't want to feed my baby with these things that I cannot pronounce. So at that moment, I was loving to cook, but you know how is to cook. You put everything in a pan, you mix, and that's it. But baking is a science. You need exact weights and exact procedures. And for me, was like, oh, this is so difficult, and I hate it. The truth is that I hate it, and I decided, okay, if I have to start baking for my daughters to make the best that I can with the food, I have to start loving it. So I make a click in my head and I say, okay, I will love, I will have passion about this and I will enjoy this. If not, I will be very miserable my whole life, right? And I start to create recipes and to call my mom because she's an amazing baker. And I start to learn how to make, for example, bread. But at that time, I say, okay, I am crazy about food. I really want to give my babies the best healthy food, but I am not so crazy to make my own bread every single day. And in one moment, I realized, okay, I am making bread every single day, and I say, okay, but I love it. They are healthy because they have allergic rhinitis that is very common in Peru because the weather, and all the kids takes inhalators, antihistaminics, and a lot of medicines. It's very common. And I say, okay, it, it has to be another way because I don't want to spend all my life giving them a lot of medications with a lot of side effects. All the doctor says, no, it's no way. All the kids take the same medicines. And I say, no, I have to make something, and I start to research. Yeah, make my own Google search, making tests, and I realized that the inflammatory foods are the worst for the body. So I start to learn, and I take out in the beginning all the dairy and all the processed foods. I change also the sugars, and they will be better, so much better. And I realized, okay, this is working. So I have to go in more deep in this. And Well, then I realized that my second daughter has a very, very high gluten sensitivity. And when I take it out, the gluten of the diet, in 1 month, she was free of any symptom. And I say, okay, yeah, this is pretty cool, right? Because all the doctors told me, no, you have to give her this and that. And I said, no, food is working. And I think it was uh, just a training for the war that was coming, that was the autoimmune disease. When my oldest was 11 years old, uh, we had a very, very bad diagnosis. She had so much pain in one eye, and then the eye started to go out of the cavity. And all the tests say that she had a huge ball behind the eye, like a mass behind the eye, between the eye and the brain, and the bone between them was eroded. So all the doctors, because we saw several doctors, they say, okay, this is cancer, this is a tumor, and we have to make the surgery as soon as possible because next week she has to start the chemo. And well, you can imagine how devastating it is as a parent to receive that diagnosis. Was the worst moment in my life. We had a huge chain of praise, all our friends and family, and I really believe that that was a miracle because we had three doctors, and the three doctors say the same diagnosis, and they came together to the surgery room, and after 1 hour, they told me, "This is a miracle. This has never happened. This is a abscess, just a ball of pus, and it's impossible. It's not cancer." For me, it was a real miracle, and for sure a mission also, because I always think that every miracle comes with a mission. And after maybe 2 months after the surgery, the doctor called me and told me, okay, I was reading all about the Camila's case, and she fixed in an autoimmune disease called hyper IgE syndrome. That is a very, very weird disease, and she had a very weird variant of this. So it was a not common case. And well, you can imagine that if your doctor told you, okay, I only have one case and it's not the same, so we have to treat her with the books, and she needs these huge amounts of biologic medicine and all the things. And she was taking antibiotics for 1 year and a half. And at that time, I say, okay, this is enough. This is not life for a kid. And they want, of course, to make a lot of DNA tests and all these weird things. And I said, no, this is not life. We did it once and twice with the food, so we can do it again. We can go very, very deep into this. And I started diet. I talked with my pediatrician, and I told him, I know that you don't have the answer, you don't have the tool to help her, so let me try. And he told me, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you can try, but don't take it out the meat. That's the only thing that I ask you. And I said, okay, I totally agree, because I really believe in the good meat, good quality of meat. And I start taking picture of her skin, because she has several bad symptoms in her skin. And after 2 months, she was clean. She was clean. Yeah, it was a surprise for me from the doctors. And it was a huge relief for us as a family. And since then, well, that was my life, because I was sharing all the things that I was learning in the kitchen and with my daughters and in life, really, with people through Facebook. And I received so many messages from people that say, okay, my doctor don't understand me, so please help me. And I just start to share my own journey, and I realized, okay, I am helping people with my own story, with my own experience with food, with my daughters. And I say, okay, yeah, this is a mission. I have to start giving back and share. I am not a doctor, I am not a nutritionist, I even not a chef, but I think if I have the chance to help someone through my story and my food, it's my gift. It's my gift because helping people make me feel like I am helping my daughters also. So it's a huge challenge.
It is. And when did you start the bakery cafe?
Well, it's a long story because in the worst moment, when we were in the middle of the disease with my daughter, our company, because we had a furniture factory in Peru, and the company started, well, all the political environment and everything makes that we start to go to the bankruptcy. And well, you can imagine you have all these financial problems, all the health problems, and it was like everything comes together, right? And at that time we were thinking, okay, if we are losing the company, we have to make a backup. So, and I was very deep into the kitchen because I was making classes for the moms of the school of my daughters. I was giving them classes, yeah, of my regular recipes, and they told me, okay, we love to learn, we love to have these classes, but sometimes we really need to buy your products. So you can start maybe making some food to sell. And my husband told me, okay, maybe this is the backup plan. So we can start making something and realize, okay, maybe we can start with a baking mixes because that is something between cooking and, and buying products, you know. And my goal is that people start to love to cook, and having a baking mix is something in the middle. It's a very easy cooking way to have healthy products. And we start with that, and suddenly we had the choice to because I met some guy who has some bakeries there, and he told me, okay, maybe I make my own gluten and normal stuff, but we cannot produce gluten-free things. And I said, okay, I can do it. And we start selling these products to this bakery, and then we open a small, very small cafe there. But you know, the gluten-free and the healthy culture in Peru was just starting, so it wasn't a great business, and we didn't have really any money from that business. And when the furniture factory went to the bankruptcy, that business helped us to get the investor visa to come here, because I always was in love in America, and I always told my husband, we have to move, we have to. And he told me, no, we have the company here. And well, all the stress of the bankruptcy gave him a heart attack. And at that time, he told me, okay, this is enough. I am dying because the business, I am leaving you with the a bankrupt company with 5 daughters that are very young. So this is enough. We can move it. And I say, oh my God, yeah, I waited for 20 years for that. um, well, I really think that God, the universe, whatever you can say, give us a very clear pathway through our life to end up here. We came here because, well, you know, with my family we have so many health issues, and one of my youngest daughter has a kidney problems. She born with a genetic problem, and we came here several years ago just to have a second opinion from another doctor. And I went to a lot of gluten-free places because I was always thinking about moving here, which kind of business we can have here. And we went to this place, and well, we were several, but this place in particular, I said, oh, this is amazing. This feels like a house, like a home when your grandma is cooking, and was a beautiful house. And when we were opening our cafe bakery in Peru, I had this amazing view of the house. And I said, okay, we can make the same design, the same decoration, the same style, and people can feel that it's like a small house, it's a home, and they are guests, customers. And I use that style to open there. And after my husband had attack, my brother-in-law, who lives here since 20 years ago, he called us and tell us, remember the bakery that Christy loved when you were here? Yeah, it's for sale. And that was like, I think, the huge sign for us. Okay, yeah, that's our path. We have to buy this bakery. And for sure, we got some experience having the bakery in Peru, but it's different, right? When you are used to make furniture and then you have a restaurant. Well, we didn't have money. We went to the bankruptcy. We lost the house. We lost everything. And the thing to have the investor visa is that you have to buy the business before to ask for the visa. So we have to ask for our family and friends. They give some money as a loan, and my husband come here, and he bought the business, and he come back to Peru, and we asked for the visa, and we were like 1 year waiting for all the paperwork. Was a very hard time because we were sleeping on the floor, just in the mattress because we didn't have nothing. We started to sell everything because we didn't have a salary. So it was a very hard time for us. Um, when the visa came and we had the tickets for the flight on the hand, we were, oh my God, I can explain you how happy we were. And also my girls, because my girls were praying every single day uh, for things to change. And when we told them, okay, we are moving to America, was like, yeah. We were very, very happy. We came here with almost nothing. And we opened we arrived here October 2019. We opened the bakery in December. We just had $200 on our pockets because was the money that we have after pay the rent, all the paperwork to open the business. It was a very, very hard time, but also we were so happy. We're so grateful to be here. Well, January was good for us because we were having some customers. February was okay. Maybe we can do it. Maybe we can do it. And then the pandemic came.
Well, let's talk about that cookbook. It's a beautiful cookbook, and you have over 130 recipes in that cookbook. And I was going through it, and you give us a list of many organic ingredients. And I was really surprised on some of the things that you listed in front of the book. Some of the things I've never heard of, like blue butterfly pea flour. Now I've heard of camu camu and ashwagandha, and you listed many different flowers. Also, even maca, which I'm very familiar with, which is a great nutritious food as well. Can those that read your cookbook be able to find these same ingredients?
Yeah, everywhere here. You know, we are Peruvians, and maca is a Peruvian ingredient. Camu camu also. We have an amazing ingredient. And when we moved here, I realized, okay, we have everything here. All my Peruvian ingredients are here and everywhere, but they don't have the publicity, the marketing that they should receive. So people can find in every supermarket, every store, and also online. The thing is, because I have so many customers in the bakery that told me, "Oh, I saw this, but I didn't know how to use it." Yeah, that's a huge thing because you know that it has so many benefits, that is very powerful for your health, and it's organic, and you have great quality of ingredients here, but people doesn't know how to use it. And that's why when I start to write the cookbook, I say, okay, maybe people are using, for example, maca, but they don't know how powerful it is. So we have to give them all this information about the health benefits, and also, for example, the brands that I like to use. Because that's another question that I receive all the time is, which is your favorite brand? And for some ingredients, you only have to search that it's organic, and the ingredient list is just that ingredient, nothing else, no additives, no fillers, nothing. And for other brands, for example, for me to bake, the the grind size, it really matters. For example, if you are using a tiger nut flour, that is a tuber, that is a very small Egyptian tuber that is perfect for AIP diet. If it's very very coarse grained, yeah, the recipe will have this little texture that is not good. So I wanted to put in the cookbook all the information that people need to have a successful recipe.
Well, you also mentioned in the cookbook, you mentioned the paleo diet, but you also mentioned something called the AIP diet. What is the AIP diet?
The AIP diet is an autoimmune protocol that is based on the paleo diet. It is very similar, but without all the inflammatory food. That's the trigger. You know, every autoimmune disease and every disease start with inflammation. So if you take it out all the inflammatory food, your body has the ability, it has the skill to heal itself. So if we give the body just the right, because for me, food is full, and if you have the right food, you can function properly, right? So the thing is, okay, if you take it out all the bad stuff, but you include the great stuff, you are helping your body to heal. Because so many people told me, oh yeah, but I am used to buy gluten-free stuff, but it's the commercial gluten-free stuff. So it's not the same. Take it out some ingredients, then include the ingredients that you need. Because you can be, for example, you can be vegan and you can live drinking Coke, French fries, right? And you are vegan, but this is not healthy. And you can be paleo and you can eat, oh, excuse me,
That's all right.
and you can have use the conventional meat that is not as nourishing that the grass fed and grass finished, and you can get a lot of inflammation from that. And you are eating meats and veggies, because paleo diet is basically meats, but great meats and great veggies, nuts, seeds. But if you choose the great quality, is the same. It's the same as the fast food. So
And it makes sense. It makes
yeah,
sense. And this is something that I want you to learn, ladies and gentlemen. You have to learn to read your labels. You have to start understanding what is really truly gluten free. And Christy's cookbook really helps you to start learning that. Now, Christy, what is your favorite recipe in the cookbook?
um, probably the pionono. The pionono is as like cake roll. Yeah, it has so many names, but this is paleo and it is delicious. It's a very classic dessert in Peru. It's filled with dulce de leche, that is something similar to the caramel sauce, but I make my own dulce de leche with coconut milk. So it's delicious, and is some that kind of dessert that you eat the conventional recipe, you can feel heavy, guilty, because it's so much sugar, right, and plain flour. But in this way, it's like, okay, I having this great dessert that is delicious, but it's also healthy. It's paleo. It has great flours on it, and great sugar like coconut sugar, and it's like you can have these treats and nourish your body at the same time.
Well, now, how many different categories of recipes do you have in that cookbook?
Oh, all of them, all of them. I have, for example, breakfast, soups, appetizers, mains, desserts, drinks, hot drinks and cold drinks, and also all my pantry, well, and condiments, dressings, and I really love making everything from scratch. For example, I know that you can find amazing and great brands of organic, I don't know, pumpkin spice mix. But when you make your own and you toast your seeds and you grind your spices and you have your own mix, is a different experience. Is you can smell and it smells different than the commercial ones, even and are organic and great. So I try to make everything from scratch, and that's the thing that I am trying to encourage all the people with the cookbook. Okay, you can have your even your baking powder, because making baking powder is very easy and you don't have all the fillers that you can find in the commercial ones, or the cornstarch if you are avoiding corn. So I have all these recipes that probably some people could say, okay, this is too much work, but it's not really. It's not, because you only have to be organized. If you can have a huge a jar of I don't know, pumpkin spice mix, yeah, that's enough for 2 months, 3 months. So it's very easy, and the goal is, okay, you have to enjoy your time in the kitchen with the family, making everything from scratch. And if you can have a space in your house to grow your own food, yeah, that's the whole cycle, right?
That's it. And Christy, I saw a few recipes that I would love to make, and some of them were like the kefir cashew yogurt, the lucuma pancakes, the smoked salmon, and the avocado toast. But then I saw the sirloin and blackberry salad with the golden berry dressing.
Yeah.
That looked absolutely delicious. And because I love chocolate chip cookies, I'm really going to have to try to make that recipe of the AIP chocolate chip cookies to know that I can actually indulge a bit without creating inflammation in my body. And so I'm excited to try those recipes.
Oh, sounds amazing. Let me know when you cook that and send me the picture.
I will do that. Now, what do you hope people will receive from your cookbook?
Well, it's a mix. It's a mix of my journey, the recipes that I make every day, and I really love the way that that I have this cookbook, because for me it's a miracle. And I always tell people, if I could find a way to make my family healthier, and if we have all the blessing that we have, all the miracles that we receive, because also this cookbook is a miracle. And if you are dealing with something like that, if you are dealing with health issues, if you are dealing with financial problems, if you are having any nightmare in your life, uh, maybe this cookbook and my story give you hope. So if I could do it, you can do it. Everyone could do it. So it's just I don't know. It's just put passion in whatever you are making.
Well, I completely agree, Christy. And your story is one of miracles, overcoming adversity, living the dream. And ladies and gentlemen, let Christy's story inspire you and motivate you. But more importantly, you need to buy Christy's brand new cookbook. But I want to close with Christy's very words. You are bigger than your problems. You are more love than your fears. You are more light than shadow. Hug yourself, encourage yourself, and be aware that your body is perfect as it is to house your soul. And when you heal, everything around you will heal too. So go to Christie'sKitchenGA.com. It's on the screen. And from their kitchen to your home, you can even order from their selection of shippable products, because they're now shipping frozen foods to 35 states and baking mixes and cookies nationwide. And don't forget, again, order her cookbook, Christy's Kitchen, with more than 135 recipes that are gluten free and truly gluten-free, dairy-free, and get this, processed food-free. Great health for your body, for you, your family on every single page. So again, go to Christie'sKitchenGA.com and get healthy. And Cristy, I want to thank you so much for sharing your cookbook and your incredible story with us today.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. It's a blessing to be here and meet you. Um, I have no words to say how grateful I am.
Well, we are so honored to have you on the show today. And ladies and gentlemen, again, get Cristy Kisner's brand new cookbook. I swear it's got to be the healthiest one out there. So go to Christie'sKitchenGA.com. Again, get healthy. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.